I am Nisha Charles.
And I am Deslin Joseph.
And we are your presenters for today. Thank you for joining us for SAT TV News. Among the major developments, Voice of Life manager makes appeal for public's cooperation during its share-a-thon.
Cayman Islands Premier arrested.
Venezuela's President Chavez's cancer surgery deemed successful.
And in sports, defending champions Drummers have been knocked out of the 2012 Coastal Life National Rounders League.
Details of these and other stories after the break.
Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. The Ministry of Health National HIV and AIDS Response Program, in collaboration with the OECS Secretariat HIV and AIDS, convened a two-day workshop at the Prevo Cinemal to sensitize healthcare professionals on the updated guidelines for the management of HIV, AIDS, and other STI. The guidelines have been developed through a process of health professionals with experience in the field. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Ms. Helen Roy, stated that healthcare providers should be aware that primary prevention of STIs begins with changing the sexual behaviors that place people at risk. Ms. Roy commended Ms. Frampton and her team for their hard work.
I wish to put on record that if there was a Grammy Award for promoting the prevention of HIV/AIDS, I think Mrs. Frampton and her team should get it. So I think we need to give them a round of applause. And that is not trying to flatter. Mrs. Frampton knows I have said that at all forum, and I think it is small things like that that make us feel comfortable that what we are doing, it's really worthwhile.
She says healthcare providers have a unique opportunity to provide education and counseling to their patients as part of their clinical interview. She also noted that they should routinely and regularly obtain sexual histories from their patients and address management of risk reduction. Ms. Schroyer believes HIV and AIDS is everyone's business.
We cannot sit idly by thinking that it's not our business, because HIV/AIDS is a human development problem fueled by many factors, some are way beyond our own ability to address. The Ministry of Health realizes that for outstanding success, a multi-stage process would be required, and therefore before implementing, all stakeholders must be sensitized on the necessary guidelines.
Power Country Program Specialist for Dominica, Shirley Augustine, said the region continues to show strong leadership in prevention, treatment, and providing care for HIV/AIDS patients.
Experts at the Pan American Health Organization and the World Health Organization say building on this success can help countries in the Caribbean achieve the goals of World AIDS Day 2012 campaign. How many of you can remember what the goal of the 2012 campaign was? Getting to zero new HIV infections, 0 deaths from HIV-related illness, 0 discrimination. Right.
Over 90 nurses and doctors from health districts and hospitals participated in the workshop.
And in more news, public servants are being called to be agents of change in society. This comes from former public servant Ms. Hannah Clarendon, who gave the feature address at the awards and recognition ceremony for public servants last week. She says being a changed agent is more than being a catalyst, since the change that they would want to bring about would change them also.
I want to say very categorically that Dominica has been very much ahead in introducing change in the public service. In fact, I do recall almost 20 years ago when we did staff appraisal here in Dominica. And just about 2 years ago, the same technical person who came to introduce appraisal in Dominica was hired by FAO to do training in staff appraisal in FAO. So Dominica was definitely ahead.
She cautioned them, saying that in the process of changing, they need to guard themselves from becoming self-absorbed, lest they forget why they want to change in the first place. She wants to initiate change for the good of the clients, whether they are internal to the public service or external in all various constituencies.
There are 3 sets of changes in which we become involved. changes that we initiate, the public sector reform programs which are introduced by administration, and external forces which impact upon us and cause either calculated or uncalculated changes. The external initiated changes, for example, ones that we confront on the home front, the changes in the way children behave. Now, parents are the ones who are not heard, and children are the ones who are not seen. They're hiding somewhere in their rooms playing with their various Nintendos, etc.
Ms. Clarendon says each of them have time and talents and should be bringing something to the table. But she advises that the process of changing will take time and they should be ready and prepared to wait to see results.
That plan will take time. Setting the idea will take time. Getting commitment from others will take time. Building the team will also take time. This will be happening while current work processes will continue. How do we make the transition? How will we involve the partners, the clients, and others who do not directly involve will be affected by the change, both positively and negatively? How will we keep the momentum going over the next 5 years or the next decade? But we want the change today. We can't wait.
She says they should make every aspect of the change that they are trying to bring forth to become personal to them so that they will see it through to fruition. And student of the University of the West Indies Open Campus Dominica, Ms. Arona Stedman, who is undergoing studies in a bachelor's degree in management and a minor in economics, is urging students to seek higher education opportunities after completing college. This positive message came on the heels of Ms. Stedman receiving the UWI Canadian Gala bursaries valued at Canadian $3,000 for the academic year 2012-2013.
When I got the bursary and I saw that I was accepted as a scholarship student, I was not just humbled by the fact that I prayed so much, but I was excited and relieved because doing UWI, it takes a lot of your money and a lot of your resources. And when I saw that I got the bursary, I was happy because I would not have been able, I'm paying for it on my own. I would not have been able to pay for my last semester. So I was kind of relieved that I got money for that. Thank you. Yeah.
The award is funded by proceeds from the UWI Toronto Gala held in March. The Benefit Gala, which is currently in its third year, celebrates the achievements of esteemed members of the Canadian Caribbean community, while it raises funds to provide assistance for UWI students in need. 6 UWI Open Campus students received the award this year. Ms. Stedman, who is originally from the village of St. Joseph, pointed out that she is a firm believer that education is the key to success, and with that knowledge, many milestones can be reached in life. She says a solid education can help people position themselves to get more rewarding jobs and also to be role models in society that young people can look up to.
Me getting the bursary for it to go towards my education for the last year, it enables me to fulfill my dream of being an economist in the future, because I'm doing my minor in economics right now, but I plan to do hopefully my master's in economics. So it just makes me feel like I have attained something, that I have reached at least one level in my life.
The 26-year-old UWI student is of the view that there is no point in traveling abroad for a university education when UWI is specialized for Caribbean students. She said UWI is also accredited more than many other universities, and upon completion, you can feel like you have obtained something to be proud of.
I believe that when you're doing your degree here at Open Campus, it enables you to work at the same time while doing your degree, and not just to work and do your degree, but it enables you to multitask. So it makes you a more violent person in the end. So I believe that the UWI Open Campus is the best campus, and not just the Open Campus, but that UWI on a whole is the better campus for Caribbean students on a whole.
She said one of the valuable lessons she learned at UWI is that you have to always manage time to get through successfully. This is a message she had to young persons.
I would like to tell the young students or young people on a whole who are out there, and those who have just finished college especially, and they're thinking of taking their education to the next level, I would tell them to don't hesitate about coming to the open campus if you don't want to go overseas, because the open campus enables you to multitask. It enables you to study, it enables you to do your extracurricular activities, it enables you to work. So I would encourage every young person here in Dominica to try pursue a degree, because the open campus offers a lot of different degrees. It's not just about management. They do educational programs as well. They do youth development, bachelors and associates as well, even certificates. So I believe that they should try to do something, because it's going to make them in the long run more marketable in terms of you getting a job.
Ms. Stedman said when she completes her degree in 2013, she will be extremely happy, as it is something that she has worked very hard to achieve.
Dominicans and visitors alike are being asked to show some generosity as the Voice of Life radio station hosts its Share-a-thon 2013 event. This plea came from the General Manager of Voice of Life radio station, Ms. Clementia Monroe, who says that it is vital that the public does what they can to support this event, which is essential to the continuation of the station.
The first Share-a-thon actually was in 1992. Yes, some time now. So that this is the 21st year that we are moving into Share-a-thon, and actually the 8th since we have taken local ownership of the radio station. So the whole concept of it was to raise funds, because the radio station has always been subsidized by then at the time the overseas owners, but because of the financial constraints as the years went by that was being experienced, then it was felt that the listeners themselves also to give them a stake in the whole radio station, because they're very much part of it. So that they can share, of their own with the station and to keep it going.
She says this Share-a-thon is the pivotal fundraiser for the radio station, while pointing out that they do some advertising and announcement which are limited as they are not a commercial station. The theme of the Share-a-thon is holding our hands in partnership.
And the message behind it is we can't make it alone. Based on what I've said previously, we can't make it alone. If we stand alone, we do not have the funds to stand alone. We need people to hold our hands. We need our listeners to come on board. We need the Christian community, the whole Dominican community to come aboard with us, so that we can change lives. Because this is that's the whole purpose of it, life changing. And that's why we say Voice of Life. When we say Voice of Life, that's what it means. It gives life.
Each year, a budget is drafted which includes what the station will need for the upcoming year to then start planning the Share-a-thon. Ms. Monroe said that they are hoping to raise $398,997, which is what they will need to carry the station on to the next year. The general manager pointed out that most of the equipment needs to be replaced, as they have been in operation since the station was started. She said with the much needed donations, they will be able to purchase the valuable equipment that is needed to upgrade the level and quality of programming delivered to their audience.
From 5 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock in the evening, that we go for the whole day. And throughout the day we have pastors, we have church leaders who come in and exhort the listeners. They give a message of exhortation, to encourage, to really encourage the listeners to give, the funds that we need. And it's according to as the Lord leads them. I mean, we're not forcing people to give, but out of the goodness of their heart, and because they know the work that we're doing. It's mission work, really. It's mission work to reach out to people, so that we can bring people into the kingdom of God.
Ms. Monroe says there will be a total of 25 volunteers who will be answering the phones around the clock so they can secure as much pledges as possible. She added that she's hoping all who pledge will honor their commitments, as in the past, a lot of what was pledged was never received. However, she's optimistic this time around. The Voice of Life Share-a-thon will run from December 12th to 15th. People wishing to make donations can call 448-4391 and 448-7017.
And the Ministries of Health, Education, Human Resource Development and the Caribbean Food and Nutrition Institute, CFNI, are hosting a workshop to develop a school health nutrition policy. This is a very important aspect of the school system for the Ministry of Education. The Chief Education Officer, Mr. Stevenson Hyacinth, says if we do not have students who are healthy and able to concentrate well, then the goals being set by the ministry will not be achieved.
A number of students who do come to school from time to time who need to be given special attention by principals and teachers and the Ministry of Education on a whole. You would know that we have in place the school feeding program, and we have been extending that program to as many schools in Dominica and communities where the need is at its very high peak, so that we can provide students with a nutritious meal.
He hopes the exercise will help them to promote healthy eating and physical activities at the schools. He says the children need to have a proper diet to have the capacity to learn. Health Promotion Coordinator Ms. Anthelia James says the ability to develop and become productive adults is greatly influenced by their education, health, and socio-economic status.
In Dominica, the Strategic Plan for Health 2010-2019 has identified the need to promote availability, accessibility, and consumption of safe and healthy foods to all as one of the prerequisites for health. In this regard, a number of programs and initiatives have been implemented, while others are ongoing. These include the National Food and Nutrition Policy, which is being developed, and the introduction of the World Health Organization new child growth standards for the age 0 to 5 years.
The heads of governments of CARICOM also stated their concerns with regards to the rising levels of obesity, particularly among children and the youth. A draft report from the Secondary School Survey in 2009 revealed that 10% of students are overweight and 26% are at risk of becoming overweight. Sadly, 5% of students said that they were constantly hungry because there was nothing to eat at home. Policy analyst with CFNI, Mrs. Beverly Lawrence, hopes that this policy will reverse the trend of obesity among school students.
We would have a policy relating to the curriculum. We would have a policy relating to physical activity, the promotion of physical activity, to the food environment, food service environment, and the whole area of standards, policies relating to parental and community involvement, and also policy statements relating to how we can link the school policy with the school, overall school health services.
They are hoping that out of this workshop there will be many suggestions as to what will be added to the policy and the way forward with the venture.
And in more news, one elderly lady was extremely happy on Wednesday, December 12th, as she received a surprise visit from the Charlotte Nursery Preschool. Administrator of the school, Ms. Glenda Bertrand, says she was pleased that she and her students could put a smile on Ms. Jar Phillips' face, a cleaner of the school for over 10 years.
And Marjan is like one of our mentors of the school. She has been with us through all our trials. Everything we go through, Marjan has always been there. And this year, she was our first recipient. Normally at our graduation, we award somebody who has always been there for the school. And Marjan was our first recipient about 3 years ago. And this year I said, well, Marjan is not with, she's not going to, we don't know what she's going to get for Christmas, but we would like to give her something special. So what we did, we dipped into our funds. Our funds are not plenty, but anytime you give, you always get in return.
She said they dipped into their funds and went shopping to package a lovely hamper for Miss Phillip. Ms. Bertrand says Miss Phillip has always been there for the school through the thick and thin times, and this is just a small token to appreciate her for the support she gave.
Everybody, we love you, Marjan. Say it loudly.
We love you, Marjan.
Again.
We love you, Marjan.
Ms. Phillips says she really appreciated the wonderful gesture by the school and will keep praying that God opens the way for the school.
I always used to pray for them, and now it was because I'm sick. I sit down there, and who give me is that I take in. So praise God for it, and praise God for them.
She said since she got the job to clean the school, she did it to the best of her ability. She was and will be forever grateful to Miss Glenda Bertrand for the opportunity.
The message I want to send to the school, the small children, they must learn to open their mind for what they learn in school. And the teachers, I don't know what to say about them. They frighten me. I don't know what to say about the teachers. Yes. Yes, brighten my Christmas. Because that is a gift, very big gift. So thank you very much.
This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.